The following program is a Creative Magic Network production.
You're listening to the Frederic Byé Show, where sky is the limit and space is the place. Here's your host, Frederic Byé.
Welcome. Come on in, sit down, relax, put your earbuds on. Welcome to the Frederic Byé Show, and this radio podcast is about unleashing your creativity. We talk to experts, we step into the unknown. It is an inspirational, magical, intuitive radio podcast as we chat with charismatic enigmas. That's right, artists, people from around the globe, musicians, singers, radio hosts, business people, photographers, everything in between. I am Frederic Byé, the man of the hour, the man with the power too sweet to be sour. Hey, I'm funky like a monkey, I sting like a bee, produce sweet honey, and I am pretty. I am your favorite French Kanaker. And today it is the Friday edition of the Frederic Byé Show. Yes, this edition where I share with you fascinating articles that I found just for you during the week. Yes, you know, on Wednesdays we have guests, and on Fridays I share an article that I think, that I know will fascinate you, inspire you, and help you tap into your intuition. Yes, it's all about creativity. It's all about doing it, living an inspired life. It's all about that, right? Because this is the path that I'm on, and hopefully this is the path that you are on, or that you wish you were on. And today, hey, I have a fascinating article from somebody that I totally admire, and I've admired her for a long time. Her name is Julia Cameron, and if you haven't heard of Julia Cameron, well, you've been living under a rock, because if you plan to be an artist, if you plan to lead some kind of spiritual/creative life, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron is a must. And I don't get paid to say this. No, I don't think she doesn't even know I exist, I suppose. But the title of the article today is Julia Cameron on the Path of Creativity. And it was written almost 20 years ago. That's right, May 1st, 1998. And I found this article on lionsroar.com. Lionsroar.com. You can just Google it and check it out. And, you know, obviously today I will not share with you the entire article, because it's quite a little bit of a long article. And I thought, you know, it is a type of article that perfectly fits this show. I mean, it does. And what she talks about is how the creative path is also the spiritual path. And the interviewer, Samuel Burchals, and I hope I pronounced his name right, starts off the interview with the first question. He says to Julia, "Your work is nominally about creativity, but it seems to be as much about tools for spiritual growth. What is the connection?" Julia answers, "People often say to me, your book is a Buddhist book, or this is a book about mysticism, really, or this is a Sufi book. That is probably because creativity is a spiritual path, and at the core of the various spiritual paths are the same lessons. For instance, I recently read Thich Nhat Hanh for the first time, and I found myself thinking that he sees the world with an artist's eye. I think that's because he is very heart-centered, even though we think of creativity as an intellectual pursuit. In my experience, creativity is a heart-centered pursuit." Amen. And she says that we actually create from the heart. You know, it's so, you know, this is why I love her, and I know you feel that. And when you read The Artist's Way, you will feel that. Is that, yeah, the heart is the place where we create, and to live from the heart, to me, it's to live a fulfilled life. That's what it is. She goes on and says, I've been a writer for more than 30 years, and the issues that arise in the creative practice are the same kinds of issues that arise in a spiritual practice. You get to look at your insecurity. Oh, yes, your insecurities. You get to look at your inquisitiveness. You get to look at your fantasy that a satisfied desire will lead to satisfaction. She says that as near as I can tell, this is what happens with a grounded meditation technique. You go through all of the shenanigans of the restless nature of the mind, and what you are left with is just be. Out of being, things are made. So creativity is the act of being. Amen. If you guys have been writers, you know this. If you're a painter, you know this. You gotta be present. You gotta be in your quote unquote element. And I know for a fact that Julia, I read another interview from hers, and she said that she doesn't like the word mindfulness because again, it's about it. To her, it's not about the mind. It's about the heart. She prefers to say it's heartfulness. There's just a parenthesis, just a side note. But I thought it was profound. And the article, talks a lot of stuff about therapists, and therapists use her books for their clients. And she says that my feeling is that an enormous amount of what we think of as neurosis is actually blocked creativity. When people begin living in their creativity, the neurosis disappears. She says, I am not certain that we are a neurotic culture. I think we're more of a stifled culture needing to express the self, and you can spell that either small s or large s. Isn't that fascinating? And again, I will not go over the entire thing, but one thing I just want to leave you guys with one main thing, and I really encourage you to go check it out. It's lionsroar.com. And she says that the only time that she gets in trouble is if she's not making something for herself. I'm sorry. If she's too busy teaching to do her own art, she gets very, very sad. And aren't we all like this? If you don't paint, if you don't write, if you don't do if you don't play drums, you get irritating. And she says that it's a matter of balance for me. She says, I must keep my artist first and my teacher second. She says that I must be making things and then sharing out of that process. And she says, if I am only teaching what I have already learned without doing my practice in order to be learning more, I am very desperately unhappy. She says it's dangerous for me. I think we've all been there. All of us have been there. And I would like to leave you guys with one last quote from the article. The interviewer asked her, do you think everybody has natural gifts? Julia answers, absolutely. And Samuel, the interviewer, asks, so what's with all these frustrated people? One of my favorite questions. What is up with you guys? What is that? Why are we so frustrated? I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated too. I can be very frustrated and stubborn and irritated. But Julia says, I think we've forgotten who we are. I think we've forgotten we're gifted. We've been made to feel we are not gifted. We have an enormous mythology that creativity belongs to an elite few. They've known it since birth. They suffer no fear. They always wear black. So she says what the Artist's Way, her book, Tools, do is reconnect people to their own creative impulses, at which point people become far stronger and begin to move in the direction of those impulses. It's essentially, a spiritual process, a listening process with morning pages. You are listening to what's going on within you. And guys, morning pages are basically you get up every morning and you write 3 pages of whatever's in your heart, in your soul. You just put it on paper. And she says you're putting it on the page and communicating it to yourself and, in a sense, to the world. Once again, it's amazing article that you guys, I think, should check out. And also, you should read The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. If you're any type of artist, it's a must. And or you know what? If you're any type of if you are on a spiritual path, must read. It is a must-read. I highly recommend it. Julia Cameron. The website is lionsroar.com. Go check it out. Google it. Julia Cameron on the Path of Creativity. All right, guys, time for me to ride off into the sunset. I just wanted to share this with you. And guys, if you have a passion, something that fuels your curiosity, well, on top of getting fascinating interviews and articles such as this one straight to your inbox, when you subscribe to our free Creative Magic community, you will get super cool exclusive gifts in return, such as the ebook Happiness Quotes by the Ambassador of Happiness herself, Maura Sweeney, one of our hosts. And this small book is an anthology of 25 inspirational quotes about living a happy life from the inside out. It's cataloged by yours truly, the Ambassador of Happiness herself, Maura Sweeney, and further enhanced by her reflections, and she offers information, anecdotal stories, and more to help underscore each contributor's quote. And she also provides suggestions to help you incorporate these maxims into part of your mental landscape. All you got to do is go to FredericByé.com. That's Frederic with a C, bye.com. And subscribe. There's a big gray wall that will appear once you go on the website. All you got to do is enter your email, and that's it, baby. It's all you got to do, baby. All right, guys. With this, we'll see us next week with a great guest. Oh, yeah. Next week, we have Kate Montana, and she's going to talk about the E word. That's right, the E word. And ego, enlightenment, and other essentials. Yes. Is it bad? Is it evil? What is the ego? You know what I mean? Like, and how can we, is it good? And if it's bad, how can we get rid of it or deal with it? Or anyway, she wrote a fascinating book, reviewed by great famous people. I was pretty darn, impressed by her work. So very fascinating interviews. I recorded it earlier this week. So stay safe, guys. And don't forget, live with purpose, passion, fire, and love. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Frederic Byé Show. For more information, go to FredericByé.com. That's Frederic with a C, Byé like bye-bye.com.